Flashing lights in the dark, barracks on up. Engines scream till the wild hearts succumb. Virtual roads where the asphalt sweat fire, chasing glory through the chaos of desire. Your TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels bursting like flames. Digital warriors, no face, just names. Science going for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels bursting like flames. Digital warriors, no face, just names. Tires calling for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Strap me in, fuel me with untamed speed. Data in the storm, all the rush I need. Glitches on the edge, chaos in the stream. Sim racing paradise, unraveling the sea. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Flashing lights in the dark, barracks on up. Engines scream till the wild hearts succumb. Virtual roads where the asphalt sweat fire, chasing glory through the chaos of desire. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels bursting like flames. Digital warriors, no face, just names. Science going for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels bursting like flames. Digital warriors, no face, just names. Tires calling
And welcome back to Nerd TV for another Smoky Mountain Sim Racing Cup Series race live from the Richmond Raceway here on this very nice April 16th night here on a Thursday as we're going to get the countdown to green fired off, presented by Icon Apparel Company. Number one place for customized apparel for your esports team and more. And here is the weather and race stats here this evening. On the right-hand side of your screen, 77 degrees in the air, 81 on the track. Pretty windy out here in Virginia, and some clouds floating around the area. To start this thing off, my name is Jeremy Stanley, aka Jay Swifty. To my right side, I have Jason Rockefeller calling the action with me, and Dustin Loxon pressing all the switches and buttons and cameras and giving us info and all that shenanigans. Mr. Jason, what's up, man?
I'm doing good, man. I know it's been a little bit since I've been in the booth here for the Smoky Mountain Sim Series. I'm ready to go, man. It seems like a lot has unfolded since I've been away. I know I've had some trials and tribulations within my life as of recently. I've had a lot of stuff going on with college and stuff and work and personal stuff, but I'm glad to be calling Richmond here tonight. This is one of my favorite tracks on the sim. I love this track, even though it's so hard to drive. I still can't really figure it out. But I love to drive it. It's just so much fun. I love rolling bottom. I love going through the corner and then trying not to spin the tires off the corner exit off 2 and then wrapping in 3 and 4 and easily getting back to the throttle. I could yap about Richmond all day, but I'm proud to be back here on Thursday.
You know, I feel the same way. Richmond and Homestead are my love-hates. I love driving this track. I love driving Homestead. I suck at them. I completely suck at them. On the long run, tires go away, and I'm just sitting duck for everyone to pass me. But, yeah, no. So we're on race number 10 here. IWP, Intentionally Wrecked Podcast, they blew up their lead with a 1-2 finish last week at Watkins Glen, and now that they hold a 103-point advantage over the teams behind them. And then also Nate Lesko, of course, one of the guys finishing in those top 2 spots. And with the fact that Braxton DeWeese did not show up last week, increased that point lead from, I think it was, in the 50s or 60s to 84. 84 now is the point gap. What was that, Dustin? 52 to 84. Thank you for that quick stat update there. So 32 points advantage over Braxton since last week. What a points jump there, Jason. Huge lead for Nate Lesko in car number 20. The man who has a tired painter. He gets a new scheme every week, and it's shown pretty well because he's running the top of the boards.
Yeah, and obviously he won last week at Watkins Glen, which from what I saw in the results page was the quickest race ever. It lasted 53 minutes as he goes for a little loop-de-loop almost here in practice, but saves it. Always love the NASCAR schemes, man. Great looking cars, and that's definitely a cool looking car. But I mean, yeah, dude, you got 7 races left. The fact that Braxton DeWeese was not at Watkins Glen last week, and Nate Lesko ended up winning his 2nd race in a row after leading 12 laps, has extended that point gap to 84 points. This is crunch time. We're more than halfway through the season now. You got 7 races left. We know how this format is. We've talked about it all year long so far, Jeremy, about how a lot of leagues have adapted the chase or the full season length points format in a way. A lot of transition to the full points format or full season points formats. That's a handful of words. But yeah, man, I mean, you know, to lead by 84 points with more than halfway through the season remaining, or rather with less than half the season remaining, it's going to be interesting to see if anybody's going to be able to challenge Nate Lesko. Nate has been absolutely on it this year. Not only is he going for his 3rd win in a row here tonight, he's going for his 5th win of the season. Both him and Braxton DeWeese have practically been class of the field all season long. They both have 7 top 10s coming into tonight. But there is one guy that I am keeping my eye on. Even though he's 8th in practice right now, it's Blake Trawick. Mind you, Blake Trawick has finished on the podium 3 races in a row. He finished 1st, 3rd, and 3rd. And even though he's 8th right now in practice, do not count out that number 56 machine here tonight. I think he's going to be really strong, and I expect him to be up at the front here. He's my pick to win tonight.
That is a fantastic call out there for the 56. Keep an eye out on him as he will probably surprise you again here this evening. And We are qualifying, so we're going to ride on board with some of the fastest cars in this practice session. They're going to go through 5 minutes of that, so we can get our cameras off your screen, full screen coverage. And once qualifying fully kind of concludes, we're going to have a little one-off thing as you see on the bottom left-hand side of your screen, the Jonathan Carter Memorial 200. That name means a lot to Mr. Austin Wheeler, and once he's done qualifying, we'll bring him in here, talk about it before the race here this evening, and hash it out for 200 laps at Richmond. And here we go. Some of the cars are pulling onto the field, or onto the track rather. And this is the number 48 of Austin Wheeler, the name we just talked about.
Yeah, and obviously, just to touch up a little bit, I'm sure Austin will talk about when he comes in. You know, his friend Jonathan Carter passed away a couple years ago. They used to go to the spring Richmond race every year, I believe, for the last 15 years. I was talking to Dustin before during pre-race about it. Somebody obviously near and dear to Austin's heart. You know, not only was he, just an ally, but he was also a friend. They did a lot of sim racing together. It would mean everything in the world, I think, for Austin to probably get this win tonight. And so far, he's on a really, really good run. He's second on the board right now to Brandon Finley, and he's tracking right now to possibly be faster if he can just hit it in 3 and 4. He wraps bottom very well, so you can only imagine he wants this pole. And to the line, got a little loose there, but Austin Wheeler will jump to the top of the charts. 21.383 for the driver of the 48 machine.
Great lap there, 21.3, outstanding, 2/10 almost. Fantastic stuff. Here's Blake Traywood, going to loose off of turn 4 himself to close out that lap. Very tricky there. It's so easy, especially on cold tires, to just hit the throttle a little too hard. That sweeping turn 4 exit really can just get a lot of people off guard. And Jason, I have noticed there's a couple of Ryan Blaney schemes out here. I don't know if you've caught that on your camera angles, but we got the black and yellow advanced auto part stuff, and there's the PPG number 12 out there from Dylan Picklesheimer on board with him now. This is probably my favorite Ryan Blaney scheme of all time.
I love this scheme, but I have a hot take, 3 actual hot takes. I love the 2019 Money Lion car. He ran at Phoenix and finished, I think, 3rd in it. I love that. I love the 2020 Advanced Auto Parts car. And I also really, really enjoyed the Dex Imaging car from a few years ago. Also, honorable mention, the Snap-on car in the Xfinity Series that he won with at Charlotte back in, I think it was 2018. I love those paint schemes. Love the PPG colors. Love to see my man Ryan Blaney, arguably the fastest man in the Cup Series this year. If it wasn't for his pit crew, but got some adjustments being made with the Jackman I heard today. So hopefully that will make things a little bit easier and not take a huge loss on pit road. But Dylan Picklesheimer, he's been strong this season. Obviously not able to get any wins this year. Coming into tonight, he's currently 3rd up on the board, so that's a great start for him. He's 7th in points. He's only got 1 top 5. And remember, Jeremy, at the beginning of the year, this kid was really strong at Daytona. He looked like a Penske car going out there. He won his dual race. It just hasn't come into fruition yet this year for him. I expect him to possibly get a win or at least a top 3 at the end of the year. He's obviously been strong, but this is the guy I think everybody has their Sharpie pretty much circled on right here is Nate Lesko, going for that 5th win of the year. And in fact, he jumps right up to the top of the charts by not by a whole, but by about less than 100th of a second. So Nate Lesko, really strong performance early on here in qualifying. I believe he was the fastest as well. But man, oh man, it's going to be hard to beat this 20 tonight.
Yeah, 100% here. We got just under 1 minute left. We're going to bring in the driver, the number 48, who currently sits P3 on the boards. Austin Wheeler, you're in the booth here with Jason and myself, and we brought you in here for a reason. This name has, this race has a name on it that you are familiar with. You want to talk about that a little bit before we go green flag?
Yeah, man, I'm honored to be able to put my buddy Jonathan's name on a race here at Richmond. This is our home track. Unfortunately, we're almost 2 years now since we've lost him, but it's going to be a great race for us tonight. We got the throwback scheme on there, so we're going to be racing his memory tonight and see if we can put on a good show for him.
Yeah, I saw the hood logo on there. It looks great out there on track. You always start in the top 5, top 4, man. What's it going to take for you to get this checker flag before we let you go?
Hopefully, we can get some green flag running, man. If we can get past the 6, 7, 8 lap mark, I feel really good about the car. So if we can get single file, get in line, and then get some laps under us, we'll see if we can march to the front.
All right, man. 200 laps. Go get them. All right. Austin Wheeler, driver the number 48, dropped him back to a Smoky Mountain Motorsports channel where they're doing a quick drivers meeting right as they grid up here for tonight's race. Race number 10 of the season, by the way. Number 10. And here we go. 21 entries. Here's your starting lineup for race number 10 of the Jonathan Carter Memorial. 200. Nate Lesko starts P1. Braxton DeWeese, person who did not start last week, does start P2 tonight. Row 2, Austin Wheeler in the 48. Dylan Picklesheimer there in P number 4. 5th place, you're going to find Al Likens in car number 6. Brandon Family starts in 6th place here this evening. Row 4 and 7th, Jeremiah Nelson in car number 21. Nick Kaufman in position number 8. And around at the top 10, Blake Treywick, P9, and Robert Hottenbach in 10th.
Rounding out the rest of your 21 car field tonight, we have Bryce Hedgecock and Stephen Harden in row number 6. Row number 7, you'll find the number 69 Smoky Mountain Zone, Chris Cash and Kevin Bullock in the number 01. Love the 01 car as always. Row number 8, you'll find Jamel Love in the number 11 and Mitch Diamond in the 16th spot. 17 to the 18th, you'll find Eddie Baker and Dylan Ellis there in the 99 machine. In row number 10, you'll find Christian Marcelli in P19 and Tay McDonald in the 92 and P20. And rounding out the field in the beautiful Pepsi number 5 scheme, Bill Hagan starting P21 in row 11.
And before this thing goes green, we're going to go 2 pace laps. And Jason, I've come to the conclusion that Smoky Mountain loves cereal. You see Bryce Hedgecock there in the 18. Remember the Battle of the Cereal cars during the movie theme night. Now he's going to rock the Fruity Pebbles. So much. That's a beautiful paint scheme out there. And you got the dunked on Nesquik car. These guys, they love milk and cereal out here. Look at that thing. Fruity Pebbles all over the place. Well done, car. But and it's only fitting that the Moo Moo machine, the Mustang, right in front of them there.
Yeah, I mean, milk and cereal, as DW used to say. I think it's pretty fitting. I love that 18 car. Fruity Pebbles is pretty sick. Obviously, you know, is Fred Flintstone on there? Yeah, he's got Fred Flintstone on there. Good thing he's got him. Obviously, I'm sure he's going to be chasing the milk all night long, and that cow might be able to chase the Fruity Pebbles as well. Real question, though, Jeremy. Cereal before the milk or milk after the cereal?
Cereal in the bowl and milk goes on top. Forever and always.
There you go.
It feels so wrong to do it the other way, and I apologize. Filming things differently. I feel bad for your opinions. But here we go. Dustin does not believe that.
He does not care.
Bad. No. Well, the back of the 18 says less blah, more yabba dabba do. And that's what we're going to do. Yabba dabba doing for 200 laps here at Richmond. Pace car down. Throttles at the ready for 21 entries into race number 10 of the season. Green flag. Green flag is in the air. Watch the tire spin for the first. Oh! Number 8, Braxton DeWeese. Going to find out exactly what tire spin looks like because he is going to lose a ton of positions. More than that, yeah.
Something's wrong with the number 8 machine. I noticed right there, Jeremy, it looked like almost like some sort. I don't think a toe link's broken, but man, that car looks really offset. And I believe we might have an incident. Yep. I think Dylan. Yep, there we go. Dylan Picklesheimer in the wall. Bill Hagan as well, and so is Kevin Bullock. And Jeremy, this is one of those racetracks where it's either going to be a long green flag run or we're going to have a race where cautions breed cautions. It's always how Richmond seems to play out here as they worked off 2 and the trouble started heading into 3.
Yeah, this is going to be the number 12, Mr. Dylan Picklesheimer into turn number 3.
Oh.
He is going to cross over his other Ryan Blaney counterpart, Jeremiah Nelson. 12-21, 3 wide. The 21 goes a little bit wide. The 12 does not realize that there was a 3 wide and crosses over the 21's nose. And then a couple of bystanders after that. See, there's the unintentional 3 wide at the last moment. Dylan doesn't recognize Jeremiah there. And there they go.
Yeah, I want to see if we can get a replay from the front end of the 21 car, at least from the hood. And that's going to be a race-ending moment possibly for the 01. But with that being said, I really want to see if we can get a replay from the 21's front bumper because it's going to tell us a whole lot more heading into the corner to see if the 12 did come down. I believe he did, obviously. But also, I saw an angle where it looked like the 21 was a little bit hotter than him. Yeah, look at that. Big time into the corner. It looks like let's take a little Nerd TV rewind right here, real quick. Back it up just a little bit. See, Dustin knows what I want. All the way down his back straight. Watch how early the 12 gets into the corner. I think he knows they're going to be 3 wide, but look at the 21, kind of just going straight a little bit, but then they both come together. I don't see this as a moment to blame on the 12. I also don't blame the 21. First lap, you're going 3 wide. It's going to happen. It's not something you want to really do here at Richmond. But at the end of the day, you're fighting for the same piece of real estate. It gets really tight off these corners. Not so much turn 4, but off turn 2, it gets really tight. So you don't really want to go 3 wide for too long here. But obviously, one car's got to go around at some point when you come together like that.
Yeah, I was taking a look at quite a few angles there on my end, and yeah, the 21 Jeremiah just gave way too much room on the bottom, and then of course Dylan did not recognize. Maybe he recognized the 3 wide like you said, based on the mirror angle there, but I don't think he realized that the 21 was going to give so much room off the bottom there, and they kind of just came together. So yeah, it was deemed racing deal by Race Control, and I 100% agree with that. And by the way, right there, all these camera angles brought to you live by Whiplash Sim Cams. If you like the camera angles you see tonight or any week that we broadcast, they're all Whiplash Sim Cams as long as they offer it, which they have almost every track, I think, close to in the sim. A lot of camera angles, like 30 plus options to choose from. And it should be at whiplashsimcams.com. But we're going back to green flag. Jason, they do have the option of going single file restarts if the cautions persist back to back to back. So hopefully we don't have to break that rule out. But we're going back to green flag here on lap number 6.
Yeah, and it should be interesting because remember, there was a time not a few weeks ago, I believe it was at Nashville, a lot of cautions, and cautions breed cautions. So hopefully we don't have that here. But they fire off out of the restart zone. Green flag's back out in the air. Nate Lesko gets a great restart. Little bit of tire spin from some of the guys on back. But other than that, everybody looks to be pretty clean and green as they wrap around 1 and 2 and hit the back straightaway.
Back straightaway here. Looks like it's very clean.
Oh,
no,
turn
as soon
around
as I
goes the
say
11.
that. Number 11, Jamel Love, hooked to the outside wall, dead center of the back stretch. As we bring up the second caution here on lap number 6, and this is going to be the 27, Steve Harden. He's just going to turn into the right rear corner panel. Great shot down the back straightaway. I think going to show it. You're going to see the subtle turn inward.
Oh.
It's going to hook the number 11. I think if we use, TV number 6 by Whiplash Sim Cams, it's going to give us a great picture.
Yeah, I almost was going to say not clear, but that angle right here coming up says a lot more right there. Definitely avoidable contact right there. I definitely think that the admins and the officials are going to look at this and probably deem it as an avoidable contact situation and probably put the 27 Harden all the way at the back of the field. You got to feel bad for the 11 machine. Obviously started outside the top 10, trying to make his way up. Jamel Love has had a really tough start, and just in general, really tough season. It's just been pretty much just rinse and repeat for the driver of the number 11. He's only ran 4 races so far this year, and coming tonight, he's got no top 10s, no top 5s to show. Obviously, no wins. I think he just wants to get that top 10, get the monkey off his back, obviously. He hasn't raced as many races as some of these guys have. Granted, he's always at the back, it seems, with a lot of this. I know he wants to have these good qualifying runs. It's a little bit smaller field than usual here tonight, but definitely not what you want to see early on for the driver of the 11.
Couple shout-outs here on the YouTube side. Weezer8, always pulling for the 8 car, Mr. Braxton DeWeese. Shifter problems. Shifter malfunction. Which was working all practice and all qualifying. He just loaded up, hit the green flag, and at the worst moment in time, the shifter does not work. So that's what brought the 8 all the way to the back early on. And then shout out to second time. That is true. Second time. Dustin always with the facts there. Second time that has happened. Happened at Pocono. See, All right, Dustin, turn your microphone on. I'm turning mine off. This is how we're going to do this. He's got all the stats over here. I'm just railing him off in real time. Oh, he doesn't want to talk, but he wants to talk to me. Got it. So, and then Jeff Brown from iRacingIFlag.com saying, what's up, nerds? Looking good, guys. This is Jeff. So, welcome, man. It's been a while since we've seen Jeff on a Nerd TV broadcast. Usually he's like a late crawler at 1 a.m., pops on Discord, but not tonight. He's early on the YouTube side. As Jason, we're gonna come back to green flag here. This lap on lap number 11, and great question for the man who doesn't want to turn on his microphone. Asking Jeff Brown, when are you gonna come into Discord and talk about your product instead of me talking about it for you? I guess that's the way we're gonna advertise that, which we'll get to it a little bit. But back to green flag action here. A little tag there from the 20 and the number 6. The two cars starting on the inside lane as they head off into one.
Oh, and a great restart by Nick Kaufman. He's going to be able to push Austin Wheeler out of line just a little bit. Gets to the inside lane, working off turn number 2. Down the back straightaway. Nobody brushes the wall. That comes right out in front of everybody. Down the back straightaway, but into 3 and 4. Kaufman and Wheeler side by side to the line.
As we get a great spoiler cam here off these Gen 7s. Looking at the 48, Mr. Austin Wheeler. Supporting his good friend, Mr. Jonathan Carter from tonight's race. We've already touched base on that, and getting a great shot of the car overall off this rear spoiler camera. As we go 2 laps completed under green flag here. Decent amount of field's already single filed out here, Jason.
And you can only imagine what Austin Wheeler is going through right now in his head. And obviously, we all know, whether you're a real-life driver or a sim driver, a little bit of contact there almost down the back straightaway between the two. But we all know, and a big time up the hill goes Nick Kaufman, nearly runs Wheeler all the way to the wall, trying to get out my sentence, and there's nearly contact. But you got to imagine, no matter if you are a real driver, a sim driver, you get in that cockpit, you immediately just turn on the jets, and you are just hyper-focused. But you got to think that in the back of his mind, he's thinking about, his good friend here tonight for sure. A lot of history, and if you didn't catch it in the pre-race, Jonathan Carter, Memorial 200, for Austin Wheeler's friend, passed away a couple years ago. They used to go to the Richmond race for the last 15 years prior to him passing away, and obviously good buddies. So Austin Wheeler, this race would mean a whole hell of a lot more for him here tonight if he were to go on and win this. But meanwhile, back in the back of the field, Jeremy, in mid-pack, everybody's starting to single file out, but a couple battles throughout this field as well.
Yeah, this top couple cars put on a great race, and then there's some space definitely within the rest of the field. As Jeff Brown says, he's up always to watch the nerd broadcast, but he didn't say he wants to talk about his stuff, so maybe he'll give us a YouTube description of it and send a link out in the chats while you're doing such. And yeah, a lot of spacing out. We got one little battle way in the back. Braxton DeWeese trying to recover from his P2 spot to a shifter malfunction. And him and Jamel Love, I think, make contact in the entry to center of 1 and 2. Jamel gives it up. Braxton's going to take it. And Jason, this is one of those tracks to where you can run the second groove in these corners side by side, and it kind of is the preferred lane in a side-by-side situation, especially in a fixed setup where the car gets a little tight.
Yeah, it does get really tight here if you obviously use too much tire off the corners. But mind you, too, that right rear, you really drive this track on that right rear. And the place where it's really going to hurt you the most is off turn number 2. Turns 3 and 4, that outside lane definitely, I feel like, is better than in 1 and 2 for sure. Because the higher you get, remember, this track, it kind of has like this little hump, almost like Dover. Right here off corner exit, you see it. If you rewind it, you'll see it again, or even just next time by. But it's so easy to spin that right rear tire off the corner. We've seen a lot of guys, whether it be officials, custom, leagues, no matter what, even pros. A lot of guys will get loose coming off turn number 2, so you got to really be mindful. Take care of that right rear tire, because that's what it's going to be like tonight. Heading into tonight as well, a lot of these guys said that this racetrack was going to be really, really fast with the fixed setup and the tires, especially with this Gen 7 car that just has so much grip on these short tracks.
Yeah, that wider tire base definitely helps the grip situation when it comes to these Gen 7s. And there's a good little battle we got on the screen here. We've watched the number 8 Braxton DeWeese try to pass Christopher Cash in the 69. That does not work. And now he's got the 18, Bryce Hedgecock. He's going to make the pass happen barely over Braxton there. Squeezes him off of turn number 4. Now he's going to try to run down the 69 as they're all chasing the 92 right in front of him, Tay McDonald. And there goes Braxton back to the bottom of Bryce.
And good job right there by Braxton DeWeese. He easily could have probably stuck his nose right on that outside lane, but that 18 just barely almost pinched him up into the wall. So great awareness for that driver, the number 8 machine, who, mind you, is 3rd in the points. Lost the spot after last week, not showing up at Watkins Glen, and extended that point lead for Nate Lesko to 106. Austin Wheeler moved up to 2nd. It's minus 84. I'm sure we'll talk about the points all night long. But Braxton DeWeese missing Watkins Glen last week very well could be what loses him this championship. And with 7 races to go here after tonight, you can best bet your bottom dollar that Braxton DeWeese wants these good finishes. He knows Nate Lesko is fast. He knows that Austin Wheeler is fast. Both of these drivers up inside the top 3. Oh, and by the way, up at the front of the field, Nick Kaufman and Austin Wheeler have gotten around Nate Lesko, who has dropped back by more than a 1.25 seconds. So Kaufman and Wheeler now going side by side, or rather, no, this is Nick Kaufman passing the lap car, the 01 machine. But yeah, Lesko had a commanding lead, and now Nick Kaufman finds himself up at the front of this field.
That's what we call 20 laps of green flag racing, and you find the mid-run, and the cars, Jason, look tight. And so, and once you're tight, you're really chewing up that right front really hard to avoid doing such. And Nate Lesko is now going to have to cool it off, maybe regroup a little bit. Nerd TV replay. I'm going to take a look back here for the pass for the race lead for the first time under green flag conditions, or just in general. To the inside, clean pass. Nate gives plenty of room there to the inside, car length and a half. And just like that, the 95 is going to muscle himself around car number 20. And that was your pass for the race lead. And by the way, we got Twitch going in, YouTube. I got 16 viewers on YouTube and two on the Twitch. Just really appreciate you guys have been doing a great job on these Thursdays to get our Twitch numbers up. And let's try to get the back half of this broadcast up in those numbers. And you can chat with each other on YouTube and Twitch back and forth. It works both ways simultaneously. So back to the action here. 1 second lead for the 95.
Yeah, and if I'm Nate Lesko too, I give him a round of applause right there. Even though it was definitely, I think, a high racing IQ move by Nick Kaufman. I think Kaufman put him in a position where the 20 thought he was going to get pinched into the wall right there. You watch the 20 kind of blip it, I feel like, off the corner. All of a sudden just lost a little bit of ground when he did get passed there by Kaufman and opened up the door for Austin Wheeler to pass him. So Nick Kaufman with a good racing IQ move by, putting him in an uncomfortable position, but racing him cleanly. That's what you want to see if you're Nate Lesko, because it could come back to bite you if you would have put the guy in the wall, but he did not. Now Kaufman leading by almost a second, but Nate Lesko right up on the back bumper of Austin Wheeler. I assume this battle is going to go on for quite a little bit of time here and could open up the door for other guys later on in this run. Fuel run tonight was about 80 to 88, 90 laps or so for a fuel run. Granted, we did have a couple cautions, so we'll see how it plays out, even though the end of the stage is at the start of lap 60.
Keep our eyes glued on this great battle here for second and third as we're going to take our first picture-in-picture commercial break of the evening. Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly.
Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm really hungry, but I'm trapped in here, and I dropped my last piece of boozy jerky on the floor. I can't reach it. Would you mind grabbing me a bag of the most tender, flavorful booze-infused jerky on the planet? I promise I'll pay you back. I mean, I'd eat my piece, but I can't reach it. Oh, actually, I got it. Oh, it's so good. It's so tender, so flavorful. You should really pick yourself up a bag. But if you do, you can't eat it in here. Now, this is my spot. I own this spot. Boozy Jerky, the original booze-infused beef jerky with a pair. Now available.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And guys, welcome back here. Full screen, voice is back on, and let's do a little Nerd TV Top 10 recap here as we're closing in on 25% of the race completed. Actually, race recap. My apologies here. And so far, we are looking at a race lead. Been very good. The 20 has cooled off that right front and been back on the attack on the 95 and Nick Kaufman. So as far as the race lead is concerned, it's all been Nick Kaufman, Nate Lesko, and then a trailing Austin Wheeler who has drastically fallen back and has caused a little 2 to 3 car battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Brandon Finley, the newest guy into the top 3, makes that pass over the 48. Consistent here, up 3 spots for himself. One of the biggest movers in this race going to be Tay McDonald and Eddie Baker. These two alone. Eddie Baker from 17th to 6th, and Tay McDonald from 20th to 7th. And then to recap the other side of the coin, the number 8 there, Mr. Braxton DeWeese, very up and down start. Started P2, drops almost back to last place due to a shifter malfunction. Finds the fix, and he's crawled himself, Jason, from 20th back to 8th.
Yeah, watch out for Mr. Braxton DeWeese here. I think he's probably got something to say for these leaders here as this race starts to unwind. You think about it, 12 laps to go in the race. He started further up, obviously 6 spots further up than where he is currently. So I do expect Braxton DeWeese to eventually get into that top 3. The question is going to be, will he have anything for Lesko and Kaufman. I definitely think he's going to have something for Wheeler. Braden Finley has gotten around him. But with 11 laps to go, man, this battle for the lead has been awesome as the lights have come on here at Richmond. And it's time to shine here on this Thursday night. Lesko giving everything he's got. You see him downshifting early on before he gets into the corner so he can get down on the brakes, wrap the bottom. He's going to get a little bit higher exit here than Kaufman. Drives away from him just a slight little bit, but all the way down to the corner. Here we go again. Lesko down.
I think Jason's voice kind of just drifted away there. I'm going to see if Dustin can scroll back the wheel in time and find... there was a wreck during our commercial break with the number 11, Jamel Love, who has disconnected from the session since then. I don't know if he's got that on reel. I think he should. We're going to see how far down in history he can go back. And here we go. Let's go a little rewind here. As we're going to... Oh, hold on. We got a yellow on the track, too, but we're going to cover this real quick. This is not in real time. This is just a wheel malfunction here, wheel glitch of some kind.
Goodness.
Slams the outside wall, totals the car, and he's going to come down and hit 65, cause a little damage to Mitch Diamond. But that is not why we're under caution, because that was back in time. We have an actual caution. And this is not staged, because stage is lap 60, so we're going to see what happened on this third caution of the evening.
Yeah, let's take a look here at the replay. And it looks like it's going to be Dylan Picklesheimer. And I believe... Oh, he just gets loose. Flat out loose off the corner right there, Jeremy. That's we talked about it earlier. Getting that right rear. If you travel too far up that racetrack, you get back on that throttle a little too hard, too early. You get a lot of wheel spin. We've seen it off 2 more than 4. But it can still happen off turn 4. And for Dylan Picklesheimer's second incident of the night, definitely not the start he's wanted to. And we're not even at the end of stage 1.
No, and actually, Dylan, I don't know if he was shortcutting pit road, but he just come off pit road that lap. His tires were cold. And so he gets off of turn number 4, throttles up, little check-up moment at the same time. Uneasy exit on the cold tires for the car number 12. And Discount Dylan goes for a loop-de-loo there on the front straightaway, bringing the third caution of the evening. Now, stage break is at lap 60. We are on lap 54 currently. We should be getting the green flag in 2 to 3 laps, depending on what the pace car says when they cross the start-finish line. So this is going to be a really, really short stint here for these guys, and it's going to be a 4-lap shootout as we got 2 laps to go on this pace lap.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, with that being said, it's been super, super tight here for the window with how many laps we have left in this stage. But mind you, by the way, Steve Harden will get the extra life, extra lap right here in that 27 machine. But with us being on lap 53 when the caution came out, we had some guys pit who were up at the front of this field, like Austin Wheeler and Eddie Baker also, and other guys as well. Wheeler, Baker, McDonald, Hedgecock, Cash, Hagan, Marcelli, those guys all pit here. And even though we're only going to have about 3 laps to go, 4 laps to go, when we get back to the line, expect those guys to try to make some moves to put themselves in a better position here. And I would not be surprised, Jeremy, if we see them obviously stay out. Mind you, we only have 4 extra sets of tires behind the wall, so they've already used up 1.
Here we go. We're going to see how this little short run works for these drivers. Who's got it? Is it going to be the 20? Is it going to be the 95 who's been leading the thing the whole time? Is it one of the guys in the back maybe capitalizing on a mistake? Brandon Finley, he drove himself up to 3rd place just recently. We know he's got some speed. Can he show it on this short run? We're going to wait. Pace car is going to drop down. Throttles out the ready. We're going green flag once more. Green flag for the 4th time this evening. So we got 4 laps to go. What a whole launch jump there for the 95.
And I like what Nick Kaufman did. It's fully legal to do exactly what he did. He went all the way to the wall, brought him all the way up there, dove it down because he knew he could fire off earlier than Lesko there in the restart zone. He's going to pull out to nearly 0.3 of a second. His way up the track goes Al Likens all the way to the line. 3 laps to go. Can Lesko get there? And by the way, Austin Wheeler all the way up to 8th. Now make it 7th here with 3 to go.
20 on the attack, 6 on the outside. Al Likens trying to take P number 3 away from the 94 Brandon Finley. Great battle for 3rd and 4th place right now as they go wide into turn 3 and 4, making it stick. Austin Wheeler may be making it 3 wide here, 2 to go.
And he tried right there, but a big-time block from that would be the 94, Brandon Finley. Oh, and he puts the bumper to him, and almost around goes Finley, but Austin Wheeler did not like being blocked all the way down to the line, and he's going to put the boot scooting boogie past him all the way to the line. 1 lap to go in the stage while they fight 3 wide behind the leaders.
3 wide here. Contact. Eddie Baker's going to collect Brandon Finley.
He saves it.
What a save by Brandon Finley. My gosh, he's going to lose a few spots, but a hell of a drive from the 94 as we go to the race lead. And it looks like, oh, Austin's going to go to the top.
Oh, look at this. Look at this.
No.
Oh, he put him in the wall. Oh.
Oh, no.
If I'm Austin Wheeler, I am not happy with Nick Kaufman right there. I know Kaufman has the older tires right there. But boy, oh boy, I would not be a happy camper if I were Austin Wheeler right there. That was not all right.
Yeah, that was a tough one. He had a really good run. You would have think the 95 would be mirror driving that whole time around. But just a strong effort there by the 48 to almost take the race lead and got the door shut, absolutely shut. I heard Nick Kaufman say sorry on the radio right after that happened. But we'll see on stage number 2 what happens there. Is going to go on pit stops this time around for everybody else who has not pitted in the past 10 laps from that previous caution. We saw a couple guys try to shift around and make those early stops before the stage end. Here comes everybody else. Your stage winner is going to come down pit road. We'll bring him in shortly after, get a word with the 95, Mr. Nick Kaufman here, before we go set and sail for 135-ish laps. We're going to do a quick shout out to the series sponsors here this evening. BK Designs specializes in high quality custom iRacing paints for just $25, $15 redos. So whether if you're looking for a sleek professional look or a bold eye-catching design, look no further than BK Designs. Wheeler's Painting and more, turning houses into homes. Find them on Facebook. And Whitehead Auto Detailing, making your vehicle look and feel as good as new to you. Find them also on Facebook. All 3 of those plugs will be found on Facebook. And now, Nick Kaufman, 95. He's cycling back to the pace car and the guys in front of him. So we're going to try to get a quick word with our stage winner. Just got to make sure I find him in Discord. Here he is. IWP. Moved him up. This is Nick Kaufman. This is Jeremy Jason of the booth. Congrats on stage win, man.
Thank you. I finally got one.
Man, that car is looking sharp. I love the Dynaco paint scheme. That car, though, this race entirely just seems like it's a back-and-forth situation. Nate had a great launch early. You and Austin ran him down, and then he caught you guys back up. So how's it feeling out there?
It's feeling good. It's a little tight. I burnt my right front off there. That's why Nate was able to get back to me. I kind of parked the bus in front of him to hang on to first there. I didn't know that Austin had such a strong car coming off the corner off of 4 there. I didn't expect him to be at my bumper that quick. I kind of put him into the wall there. But yeah, no, just settling in. I'm going to have to back down the pace a little bit for myself for this next green flag run, though, to save that right front.
10-4. Jason, got anything for Mr. Nick before we let him go?
Nick, if this comes down to a late race restart, you thinking tires if you guys got an extra set?
For sure. For sure. Seeing those guys come through the field right there in that 4-lap little run that we had, yeah, tires are big.
All right, man, go get them. Stage 2. Good luck.
Thank you.
Nick Kaufman driving the number 95. Thank you for that time. And here we go back to green flag racing on lap 66. Green flag in the air, Jason. And oh, tire spin there from the top 2 guys, the 92-84, 3 wide already.
And you know what, Jeremy? The reason why... Oh, and look at this move here by Nick Kaufman. 3 wide through the middle, trying to get in between Hedgecock. And that's Eddie Baker.
Oh,
we got one choice. Let's go. Into the wall hard. One of your race contending guys. hard into the wall on the inside lane, and there is a significant amount of damage to the left front for Nate Lesko, and we have a caution right in front of him. He'll go through the grass for Robert Hottenbach and almost collects the 5 of Bill Hagan. An eventful first lap back after green.
This is going to be a cold tire loop-de-loop for Robert Hottenbach here, just to the inside of Nelson. Gets loose, almost tags Jeremiah. Blake, left, right on the wheel, decides
Oh
to
my
just crank the wheel
goodness!
hard left.
That's
Barely
badass.
missed. Diamond also just by, 3 inches misses the number 3 car. As we're probably going to go on board with the 56 with the Oakley visor cam and Mitch Diamond, I would imagine, but I don't know, where do I go? This way.
Oh my goodness. You could put a pail of milk between the two of them right there. No pun intended.
Pail of milk. No pun. That's the most not pun intended pun I've ever heard.
You know what? Shut up, man.
Put a pail of milk between those 2 cars there. And here's the number 65, Mitch Diamond. Also, which way?
Oh my goodness. Both of them did such a great job getting through there, man. And both between Mitch and Blake, they both got hard on the brakes right there. If they would have just stayed full throttle, obviously they could have been a massive pileup. But those 2 in my book get driver of the day.
Great solid avoidances from the Mustang and Mitch Diamond. And yeah, you got to feel bad for the number 20 Nate Lesko. Again, one of the fastest cars of the field, and just got loose, I think, right off of turn 2. Sent himself to the inside there. He's on pit road to get this damage repaired for what he's got. Doesn't look too bad physically looking at him on camera, but
That was a hard hit, though.
yeah, here we go, back to Nerd TV replay. We're going to see 3 wide contact right in front of him. Al Likens to the outside of the 20. Nick Kaufman, your stage winner, right there in the middle. Bonk, bonk, bonk. And then Nate just got loose. Probably paying attention too much to that 3 wide and not enough to his tires.
Oh,
Bam,
that's
that
killed.
left front destroyed.
And Jeremy, I think right there, too, the thing that these guys are definitely going to pay mind to, just like obviously Nick Kaufman had told us there before we went back green in stage 2, notice the jump that Austin Wheeler got on everybody. He's going to have a little bit older tires. He's got, 5 lap older tires than everybody and when you come to green flag laps in consideration. I mean, he's got wear on his tires. You would think, he's going to spin the tires. But no, it's because he's still got heat in them. That's why everybody's on such cold tires. It's so important to try to put the heat in the tires. I know that on iRacing, it doesn't really matter as much. But you never know. I mean, this is the sim. You could try to get heat in the tires as much as possible. Don't flat spot them by slamming the brakes and trying to put heat in them. But just warming them up a little bit, especially that right rear. This is a track where you really should be fishtailing a little bit when you get those cold tires after you just got them changed. So definitely the reason why we saw Austin Wheeler shoot out of a cannon there. And I can only imagine if we see more restarts like that with various different tire strategies for the remainder of the night, it's going to look a lot like that.
I saw right there before you just got done talking, Dylan Picklesheimer gets the +1 extra lap, extra life award as he goes from 18 to 17 laps down. A lot of laps between the top 18 race lead versus the 3 guys that are multiple laps down here. But pace car down. Austin Wheeler, Tay McDonald starting this thing. P1, P2, green flag in the air. Here we go. Austin, a little bit of a delayed start, but it works in his favor. 2 car lengths over the 92 of Mr. McDonald. And here comes Bryce Hedgecock to the outside.
And here comes Hedgecock all the way to the outside. Going to try to wrap around 1 and 2. He'll get a good little run down the back straightaway. Looks to the inside there on Tay McDonald. Nearly gave him the bumper there heading into turn number 3. But there's single file for the first 3 rows, but double wide for the 4th on back. Battle between Chris Cash and Nick Kaufman as he works to the outside.
Good battle still side by side. Nick Kaufman going to try to clear Christopher Cash. Does so. Now he goes right to the bottom, goes for a little 2-for-1 on this lap, or at least he's trying for it. Bryce Hedgecock's been pretty good on the outside, but no match for the 95 early as multiple cars slam the outside wall after turn number 4.
Austin Wheeler, fastest lap of the race, 21.356 last time around, but fear no more if you're a Nick Kaufman fan because he is on the charge and he is flying.
Eddie Baker.
Eddie Baker around. Bryce Hedgecock as well.
Oh, Eddie Baker turns Bryce Hedgecock into turn number 3 for the 5th caution this evening. It got some rear end damage to the 18. There was one other car that made contact with him after the fact, but here we go. Look how far Eddie Baker is from the 18. And then look how close he gets to turn 3 and just, I think you see him locked up the
Ooh.
tires. I think he just
Yeah.
completely missed his braking point with the tire lockup, sends him around. And there's one car that comes in late that kind of tags the 18. There's more contact to the left front tire. That's not good.
Yeah, it's
Who was
Chris
the last
Cash
car
involved.
here?
Oh, Steve Harden.
27. Yeah.
I want to see if we can get a replay from, I believe, who was that? That was Braxton DeWeese. I want to see if we can ride on board with Braxton DeWeese just to get a reference to see how far in deep the 84 of Eddie Baker went going into the corner, because you could clearly see the 8 was backing off way prior to the 84, because the 18 backed off so much that eventually the 84 it just kind of just dives it in a little bit further and heads up driving by Braxton DeWeese, gets just barely through there. Might have got a little bit of damage, but here's another replay from this angle. Yeah, you see right there, 84 just way, way hotter into the corner than the 8 was, and tags the left rear of the 18. And Bryce Hedgecock, man, another driver, just like Jamel Love. Both of these drivers with the Joe Gibbs Racing font. It's been very tough for them this season. Bryce has had a solid season. He's had 4 top 10s, 1 top 5, but with 9 races under his belt this year, it's definitely been a little bit of a kind of a toss-up. It's like tossing a coin up if he's going to finish the top 10 or if he's going to get wrecked, because it seems like it's been that way all season for the 18.
Getting word from race control, or race admin rather. Next caution will be a single file restart. He didn't say a time or a lap count between it would be 2 versus 1, but we're going to go single file next restart based on race admin call out here. And we got just over a lap. I'm going to try to sneak in Austin Wheeler one more time before we go green flag. Austin, real quick, this is Jeremy and Jason in the booth here. You're the race leader on this restart. How's the car feeling, man?
Car feels good. If I can stay with those IWP guys, we'll be in good shape.
How do you feel about your chances on that, man? I know they're wicked fast out there, but you got a good piece yourself, though.
Yeah, no, I feel like I can be competitive. I just wore myself out in that first run, battling Nick and Nate too hard. And after about lap 40, I was hurting pretty bad, but try to do a little better this run, see if we can have something for him.
10-4, man. Good luck the rest of the way. Maybe we'll talk to you here in just over 100 laps.
Sounds good, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right, that was the 48 Austin Wheeler. Got to talk to him twice here this evening before the checker flags do fly. He and Tay McDonald are starting P1, P2, as Tay goes a little blinky here before this restart.
Yeah, a little bit tough situation there for Tay, but it shouldn't really matter here for the rest of the field. They come to the restart zone again, and the 48 jumps out ahead. Big restart for him, but Nick Coffin follows in tow. Oh, and the 8, I think that's shift again. Oh, no, and that might be a yellow.
He saves it. I don't know how. Was that Mitch Diamond in the 65?
Hell of a job.
Yeah, there it is. He got just, well, I guess he came down on the 3. The 3 makes the move. Oh, no, 3 just
3
washed
came
up.
up.
Okay, he just took out Mitch. Mitch, I don't know how he saved that.
Steve Harden's got brown pants for sure right now.
Man, 65 on full alert on that one. Great heads up awareness.
Oh, big
there's
crash.
more.
84-18 into the wall hard. That's Bryce Hedgecock. And then the 84 of Eddie Baker. And that right front is destroyed on Baker's car. We caught that late. I'm surprised that's not a yellow, but here we go. Nerd TV Rewind. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, this is going to be what we call the old payback. This is how we do this.
Oh, no.
We just forget to steer.
Yikes. Rule number 1, don't wreck yourself when wrecking somebody else.
Yeah, that was 100%. The 104 sneaks by that one. Nate Lesko. A couple guys sneak by, but yeah, Bryce Hedgecock just got back to him. That's short track racing at its finest. Tempers do flare quickly at these kind of tracks, and it's going to knock out the 84. He is out of the evening. That car has way too much damage, at least momentarily. I'm assuming, based on the damage, is we got the beef. We got the Fruity Pebbles. We have the
Dollar Tree.
We have the, I don't know. We have the cereal beef. Whatever you want to call that. There you go.
I don't know.
It's all separated by a pail of milk, Jason.
Yep, bale of milk. I'll never live that one down for sure. But to touch up on that, I mean, honestly, we don't really like to see that nowadays. I mean, it's one thing to rough up the guy a little bit. I think it's another one to just flat out go in there and straight up dump him. I think if the admins or anybody is definitely listening or at least watching that incident, I 100%. Oh, we got another caution here. I definitely fully believe that the 18 should be parked after that one, no doubt about it.
69 self spins. He calls it out on the radio. He's going to knock him out at least by toe. This is going to be a huge wreck here for the 69, who I thought he had it saved here. Saved it. Nope. Now we're going to autocorrect it.
Oh,
yeah. Just destroys the inside wall. Not only at the inside wall, but the wall kinks to where it made a nice perpendicular slam dunk for the 69 as he sits on pit road for the 7th caution. That's 6+1 on the stage break. So, but Austin Wheeler still leads it on this one.
yeah, that was a big time hit right there. Looking like Ryan Newman back in 2016 of the inside wall with Tony Stewart. That was a tough crash right there. Even like Jeff Gordon back at Richmond in 2011. That's a hard hit. That's one of those walls. Oh, and look at this. That might not go over too well, I think, with the admins possibly. Nick Kaufman and Brandon Finley both staying out. I like the call, don't get me wrong, but Nick Kaufman almost just ran right into the 94. Granted, I don't think there would have been much damage at all, but that was a late call.
Yeah, I don't know how iRacing's going to call that one. Maybe it's okay, but there's clearly that orange square on the outside of pit entry, and they blew way past that. As we're going to go Nerd TV Rewind, and you're going to see an orange square way before they make that cut. Let's see if we can get...
This is why we have Dustin.
TV7 has a great angle right there. They see that square. That's it. You're committed. You're still committed. And then 95 and 94 say, nah. And then almost Nick Kaufman ruins his night there. Less than a foot away between himself and those sand barrels.
Well, I mean, technically in the iRacing world, I mean, even though in real life that would be committed, you would not be jumping back up on the racetrack that quickly, obviously. So for that reason, I think that iRacing is going to deem that from their official software that they use to deem penalties. I think that it'll be fine. I don't see anything wrong with it in the iRacing standpoint. Obviously, if that was real life, Nick Kaufman and Brandon Finley both would be going to the back of the field here. But no harm, no foul. Just really cutting it close there. Heads up driving by Nick Kaufman and Brandon Finley to not run into the barrels, but also not run into one another there. Just really tight. But, Jeremy, guess who has made his way up into the top 3? Mr. Blake Trawick, the Mustang, as we like to call it, or rather you call it, Jeremy. I think you're the only one. But, man, this guy has been on such a heater the last 3 weeks. He's finished first, third, and third. Blake Trawick really is just on a heater, man. I think if there's anybody who could probably make some sort of run at the leaders with the consistency that he's had these last 3 races, it would very well be him. I love this photo of him. What is he holding, a Bud Light? He's holding a Bud Light. He's got a Bud Light in hand. He's got the cow costume on. Little Jason lore here. Back in my senior year on Halloween, we could all dress up as costumes. I made myself my school's porta potty. I made it. I got best costume, not the harp, but a group of the guys in my grade ended up all dressing up as cows and got funniest group costume. So that's what Blake Trawick reminds me of here. But Mustang's coming to the front, Jeremy. Can he do it though?
Hopefully nobody opened up your costume and went to the bathroom. Let's just leave it at that. But green flag back. You're welcome. Oh, and the 94 gets tagged. He had a little bit of tire spin or misshift himself. And then the Mustang, Mr. Blake Trawick, does tag him there. And they kind of settle it out, little left and right there, blocking down the back straightaway into turn number 3. And it looks like it is going to be Nick Kaufman all day with the 94, Brandon Finley. 5 car lengths back of the 95. They're still chasing each other around the front straightaway here.
Yeah, doing a great job. And one guy to keep an eye out for is Tay McDonald, that number 92 machine. First race for him here tonight, and he is doing a great job. He's on newer tires, and you could just see, Jeremy, how much those newer tires are paying off. He pitted on lap 86. They pitted on lap 62. Granted, we've had some yellow flag racing in between, but he's already made up a significant amount of spots. In fact, he is the biggest mover of the race so far, up 16 spots, and he's running in the 4th spot.
We'll move to the inside. Here comes Braxton DeWeese, try to recover from his second shifter malfunction of the evening. Going to pass to number 3, Robert Hottenbach. Easily into 3 and 4. Clears in there, back to single file. Goes the whole entire field. I do believe, as Blake, we talked about him up to P3 momentarily. He's dropped back to 5th. This guy is in 4th place in points, by the way, after his huge success this past 3 weeks or such. That number 56, P4, 115 points out of 1st, but only, what was that, a difference of 30 points outside of 2nd place?
Yeah, and Blake definitely could do it. And by the way, my apologies, Tay McDonald, this is his 4th race of the year. I thought it was his 1st. I just can't read, because I'm a ginger, but doing a great job there in 4th. But Blake has just really put himself together this season. You talk about Jeremy, he's only a handful of points back there in that 4th spot. And really, this is still anybody's championship. And with Nate Lesko having the issues that he's had here tonight, granted, he is running. Oh, and into the wall. That would be the number 99 of Dylan Ellis. Hard into the wall. We'll keep an eye on that. But for Nate Lesko having the issues he has had tonight, and like everybody else, too, this is an opportunity to try to capitalize, not only with stage points, but also a win. So I think Nick Kaufman and also other guys know that this is an opportunity to try to pounce on these points right here.
2 or 3 wide action here late in the back stretch. Turn 3, looks like they go back to 2 wide, and just want to make a notation. The lap 80 wreck between the 18 and 84 with the retaliation is under review, and that pit road X from the 95 and 94 on lap 86 also under review. And if there's any penalties to come from that, you'll hear it live next week on Nerd TV for race number 11. And getting racy here. We went single file momentarily, and now all of a sudden the tire wear is starting to shift around some of these drivers, and we're getting a lot of 2x2 action here, about 5th through 10th.
Yeah, you see the 6 of Likens and Treywick in the 56 machine. They are both battling side by side. Likens with 86 tires, Treywick with 62, continuing to drop through the field. And he's currently getting passed by Dylan Picklesheimer, who is 16 laps down, just trying to pick up however many spots and points that he can. For anybody who is wrecked up in front of him, he very well could pass Chris Cash at some point here tonight. But one driver who has made his way up inside the top 3 again, Braxton DeWeese, has had 2, maybe 3, I want to say 2, though, issues on these starts with misshifts with a shifter. Something to keep an eye out here for the rest of the night. But Braxton missed Watkins Glen last week. We're going to keep talking about it, I'm sure, the remainder of the night as we approach halfway through this race. This time by, it'll be 100 to go. But Braxton just really strong here, and this is an opportunity for him to capitalize on the points.
Yeah, let's actually go on board here and look at the twistedspeedsetups.com in-car telemetry. Shifting is occurring at Richmond here, and if you're wondering if he's shifting even with a shifter malfunction that's going on, you absolutely better believe it. He's looking for speed. He's shifting 5th to 4th just like everybody else, so he's not too alert or too aware of that situation because he's just trying to get that speed, Jason.
Yeah, definitely trying to get that speed. That's really the main thing about these Gen 7 cars that everybody talks about, because they're sequential gearboxes and they have 5 gears. They have the opportunity with how high the RPMs get to shift into 5th gear. So, 4th gear, it's just faster to roll around rather than to stay in 5th gear. Even though if you did stay in 5th gear, you're obviously saving tire, but you're going to be much, much slower on corner exit. There's a lot of guys who will tend to stay in 1 gear at some short tracks like a Martinsville or a Bristol, but then there's some guys who will tend to drop down to 4th. And for Braxton DeWeese, it's working a little bit. He's catching Nick Hoffman. Granted, he is on newer tires than him, but the gap is nearly half a second between the 95 and the 8. Meanwhile, battle for the 3rd spot here, as it looks like Al Likens will overtake Tay McDonald, while the 12 of Dylan Picklesheimer just continues to impress despite being 16 laps down now.
Yeah, he's out there just to have some fun at this point. He knows that maybe 1 or 2 more spots may be up for grabs if there's another hard wreck, like we saw with the 69 Christopher Cash just a little bit ago, who has now been passed by Dylan just as of 3 laps ago. So that's going to move the number 12 up to 16th place overall. And that's that Mustang 56, Mr. Blake Treywick. Tight is the story for him. He was up there in that P3, and he's dropped back to 7th, currently fighting Dylan Ellis in the 99 for 6th place. Oh, hold on, right in the back there. We got 2 cars live. Robert Hottenbach, caution for the 8th time. Going to be a parking lot on the back straightaway for 2-car. Austin Wheeler, calm down, man. And there we go. 2 cars involved in this one.
Yeah, it just seems like these 2 guys have.
All the bad luck.
Yeah,
Oh.
I was just about to say all the bad luck. They both seem to find incidents here tonight, whether it be just barely avoiding or get involved with them. Steve Harden, and also the 3 machine like Robert Hottenbach there. And here comes Austin Wheeler. Buddy's flying in like he's got ARCA brakes here, buddy. Hey, ARCA's tomorrow at Kansas, I believe. Slow down. We don't want to cause that just yet. But good job to him by getting slowed down, even though he's going a little bit faster than he probably wants to. But pit road is open. We do have some takers, Jeremy, Nick Kaufman, McDonald, Finley, rest of the field in. Meanwhile, some of these guys who pitted in lap 86, like DeWeese and Likens, they'll stay out here as we hit pit road.
The 18, Bryce Hedgecock, also goes past the orange squared off area on pit road and then yeets to the outside before commitment to pit road. So maybe that should be under review to match the other ones. And little 2-tap from the Zombieland movie goes Mr. Harden there into Robert Hottenbach to cause this caution, 8th caution of the evening. Just past the halfway mark. The double tap. You got to tap twice to finish them off, right?
Yep, love that movie. I keep trying to get my girlfriend to watch that movie. I really want her to. The movie's too good.
It's too good, 100% there. 27, Steve Harden, drive-through penalty for the 2nd caution from himself this evening. Yeah, they're getting clarification, but it looks like it is a drive-through penalty for car number 27. And the car number 12, end of longest line, being issued because he should be, yet again, the +1 extra lap, extra life award recipient, I do believe. There he is on pit road.
Yeah, really a shame for Dylan. Obviously, dude, if this kid didn't get wrecked so early on in this race, I can only imagine the kind of speed that he would have. Granted, he was on a little bit fresher tires than some of those guys there on that restart, but I mean, Jeremy, can you really say there's been a favorite here to win tonight besides Nick Kaufman? I mean, everybody has had their opportunity up in that podium, I feel.
Well, if we can keep the shifter on that yellow and pink car up front, now leading the race, Braxton DeWeese, he has times to shine, and then his shifter says, nope, you can't have that moment. You saw him. He drove from 20th to 8th on the opening run of this race. He somehow found himself in the lead, virtue of not pitting with a couple other guys. He's not the only one on the quote-unquote old tires. And hold on. We just went from double to single file. We talked about them going single file restart. Race control literally just switched it from double to single within a half a lap here. They're scattered. They don't know what to do. They're on the top lane. Staggered restart. Let's see if this causes chaos.
Yeah, this probably will cause a bunch of black flags if I had to assume.
Yeah, there's going to be some cleared. It's going to cost 3 wide. This is a terrible call. And, contact. Hey, McDonald to Austin Wheeler.
Look at Kaufman on the bottom here.
Yeah, good run for a couple of these guys, capitalizing on the little miscue from Ray. Oh, Tay McDonald!
Oh, no!
Caution for the 9th time this evening. 92 going for a loop-de-loo himself. And, I would put the yellow flag on the race control on this one.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I know it's the 92's fault for slipping and sliding there by himself, but I don't know. That whole thing was just a miscombobulation. Oh, the 99.
Dylan Ellis, nice job.
Yeah, fantastic job. Maybe we can go Oakley visor cam on this one and take a look at this miss.
And he was switching things up right here. Watch this. He sees him so last minute. He goes, whoop, right around him. On the apron. Dude thought he was doing a lap at Kansas.
Thought he was. Nope. Not having it. It's Richmond, baby. So we're going to stack them up again, man. This should be single filed, and hopefully they all restarts have been switched to single file. It is a unanimous flip of the switch, not a per caution moment. So Single file will go these drivers this time for sure. As race control still trying to clear out these black flags, like you said.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. If I'm race control, do not make that mistake again. that definitely should not have happened for sure. I don't know why they called it half a lap before the green flag. I think that you should definitely call it here for this one. No doubt about it, considering you have another caution, so why not do it this time?
And it has happened. So we're going to go another lap and a half. We'll go back to green flag. Let's see if Braxton DeWeese can get through the gears again. As we're looking at your +1 extra lap, extra life award recipient to not the 12 this time, but to the Nesquik car. Car number 28, let's go. Gonna get back onto the lead lap after getting his car repaired multiple times through these caution cycles. And here we are. Pace car lights are staying on, so it's actually going to be 2 laps to go. Restart will happen on lap 117. Braxton DeWeese, he is praying that his shifter stays in formation with the gears that he wants to be in and actually clicks through them. But I know it's got to be frustrating to have such a great car and have such a huge crutch that you don't know when and when not it's going to work.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really interested to see, though, how this restart does go now that we are going to be single file on this restart. Because you got guys with a mixed bag of strategies here. Up at the front of this field, you got guys who are last pit on lap 86, 107. You got some from 113. Granted, I know we've had a lot of yellows. I want to see real quick if we can get the race recap again, just to see if we can get that little, like, Fox Sports ticker with all the... Dustin knows what I'm talking about. There we go, right there. We've only had, like, really one long green flag run. So hopefully this time around, now that we're more than halfway through this race, these guys can get themselves back together right here. We could have a good race.
Here we go. And this is kind of like a dirt track style here, Mr. Jason. The outside can be king when it comes to some of these tracks, including here. So they're going to run the wall. Braxton DeWeese is choosing that the outside is not an option for these guys on the restart because they know how vital that outside can be at times to holding off the guys passing on the inside. So here we go. Green flag back in the air. Single file up against the outside wall, up against that cushion of rubber that's been shifted for 117 laps around this racing surface as they go off into turn number 1 on the bottom.
And Kaufman entered a little bit higher right there. He'll move down to the bottom, down the back straightaway now into turn 3. Enters slightly lower than the 8. I think the 8's going to get a better run here off the corner. But Kaufman does have those fresher tires right here. He's going to attack big time into turn 1. Kaufman to the bottom of DeWeese battle for the lead.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those easier attempts here. Older versus newer tires. Faster versus pretty fast overall car. Braxton doing a great job so far, holding him off. Tries the dime in the corner. The car does not stick on the apex. And Nick is all but clear to Braxton into turn number 1. He gets it. New leader, car number 95.
And now the next car that Nick Kaufman's got to worry about if he can catch him is Brandon Finley, who pit on lap 107 with him. Brandon finds himself in 4th. Blake Treywick on 107 as well. He is in 6th. But so far, single filed out. Definitely a lot cleaner restart than we've seen all night long, Jeremy. 81 laps to go. And here comes Finley looking to the bottom of Al Likens, but cannot do it on corner exit. Everybody's still single file. Now he'll look to the bottom of the racetrack here on the 6th. Gets up into him, nearly washes up, but they're able to keep it going straight. They're side by side to the line, and I expect Finley to have the upper edge in the 1.
Let's see here as they go through turn 1 and turn 2. Al Likens likes the dime in the corners. Gives up a lot of time there in turn number 1. Gets a little bit of a back but cannot recoup as there's the next battle in line here. 5th and 4th place. Treywick versus Hitchcock here on the front straightaway as the Fruity Pebbles car gets a little loose off of turn 4.
Yeah, might need to yabba dabba do right there for a second off turn number 4, but they keep it going straight. Here's Austin Wheeler in the 48 machine. Haven't really talked about him recently besides his near scare down the back straightaway a handful of laps ago during one of the cautions. But now he finds himself in the 9th spot, -6 from where he started. He just passed Jeremiah Nelson, and Wheeler's one of those guys who pit on lap 113. Jeremy, I'm noticing even with just a few laps difference between these guys with tires, and we've had these cautions that I think they really do make a difference. I think tires might be the big talk of the town here tonight with 77 to go. I think if we get a few string of late race cautions, I think that if you pit later on and you're in a good spot, you could very well walk away with this win. It's going to be tires all night long, man.
Let's take a look for the first time tonight at the pit stop report here, presented by AI Chief. And right on the money, me and Dustin thought about it at the same exact time. And here we are. There's your lap since pit stop. Nick Kaufman at 17, Braxton at 38, and he drops to Brandon Finley right there on your screen. It is a battle for second place. Still side by side, respectable racing. Little touch there midway down the back straight. Braxton goes wide, trying to get the launch off corner. Oh, it looks like Treywick tries to slide job the 6 of Al Likens. He's going to cross him over to the inside, and just like that, back goes the 6 over the 56.
Yeah, it's a fun little battle there. I thought the 56 washed up big time. One thing I'm noticing, too, is these brake rotors are really glowing going into the corners. I love to see that. We used to see that so much back in the day with the Gen 6 car, the Gen 5 car, rather the COT. The only time you really ever saw these brake rotors glow so much was back at Martinsville in 2024 and 2023 with that, or rather it was 2024 with heavy tire wear in the Cup Series, the fall race. A lot of glowing brake rotors, and we're seeing a lot of it here tonight. It just goes to show you how much these guys are on the brakes. But if this car was the Gen prior, man, they'd be on the brakes a lot harder. Remember, these Gen 7 cars, they got those bigger brakes, really, really strong, allows you to dive it down deeper into the corner than the Gen 6 car would. That's why these cars are also so fast. They got so much grip, and they got better brakes.
100% here, and lap 129 underway, just past this. Well, not really just past. We're 72 laps remaining in this race. Time is kind of flying here in the back half of this thing after we cleared some of the cautions out, and love to see the good green flag racing these guys are presenting right here. Little pass here, 99 over the 6 front straightaway. This position is for 6th place. 5th and 6th place up for grabs. This is the top 5 spot on the tower, on the Sim Racers Hub stat column. Good little battle here. Comes Austin Wheeler. He's going to drive to the inside. I think his brake rotors are glowing a little bit more than everybody else here, Jason.
Yeah, for sure. I think Austin's really trying his best to try to drive through this field. I mean, he's got the fast lap of the race, 21.253. Moving up into the 6th spot if he can clear Al Likens off turn number 2 and does not. Oh, but in front of them, Dylan Ellis, who last bit on lap 107, gets a little squirrely in front of them. Now this becomes not a 2, but a 3-car battle as they work off turn 4 with Al Likens looking to try to get around the 99. Now they'll go 3 wide, while Ellis, I think, trying to at least sacrifice the spot to the 2 of them, and does.
Wow, that was a close call there. Inside almost got cut from the 48. He makes the quick cut himself underneath the 6. And Austin Wheeler trying to go a 2 for 1. Can he pass Al Likens, car number 6? He does, as Al gets tied off of turn number 4. Austin Wheeler moves himself into the top 5.
And you can only imagine, we've talked about it all night, Jeremy. Austin Wheeler wants this one probably more than he's wanted a Sim League win in his career as he wraps 3 and 4, passing the 6 of Al Likens. Next on the agenda for him is Blake Treywick, Braxton DeWeese, Brandon Finley before he can meet up with Nick Kaufman again. He's got to pass the 3 Bs up in front of him. Question is, does he have the time to do it? These guys are right on the dot with fuel here. I think that if you're Robert Hottenbach, Austin Wheeler, you should almost be good on fuel. You might have to save a little bit. The fuel run coming into tonight was 80 to 88, 90-ish laps. So will they have enough fuel, Jeremy? These guys were right on the money. And if this race does go green, very well could be a fuel strategy race. Something we're going to have to keep an eye on.
Yeah, keep watching. We'll find out as we're going to go for our last picture-in-picture commercial break cycle of the night. We'll be right back momentarily.
Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm really hungry, but I'm trapped in here, and I dropped my last piece of boozy jerky on the floor. I can't reach it. Would you mind grabbing me a bag of the most tender, flavorful booze-infused jerky on the planet? I promise I'll pay you back. I mean, I'd eat my piece, but I can't reach it. Oh, actually, I got it. Oh, it's so good. It's so tender, so flavorful. You should really pick yourself up a bag. But if you do, you can't eat it in here. Now, this is my spot. I own this spot. Boozy Jerky, the original booze-infused beef jerky with a pair. Now available.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And back full screen here is we are 1.5 laps shy of going 75% completed here this evening, as we're on 150 this time around. One more lap will give us that 50 to go marker here for the Jonathan Carter Memorial 200. Top 10, or Nerd TV Top 10 recap. Let's fire this thing off. Nick Kaufman up 7 spots, been the class of the field all night long after taking the race lead. Couple moments of hiccups, but overall the car has been blazing fast, and he's got a 2.5 second lead over the second place car, the 94, Brandon Finley. Once he's crawled his way to third and then second place, he all of a sudden has found strong. Oh, hold on, reverse that caution for the 10th time. Double cautions, and it's going to be either the second or third caution on Robert Hottenbach. Yeah, it's going to be Robert's fault here. So we're going to go off turn number 3, and there's going to be a contact between the 99 and the 3. I think he drives in too hot. Oh, tire lockup, tire lockup.
Oh, this is going to be hard.
It's going to be a heavy impact here. Bam!
Oh, my goodness.
Wheels off the ground. Good night goes Robert. That's going to be possibly race ending.
Oh, that's
for the driver number 3.
Yeah, you just see right here down in the corner. Just locks it up, just big time. Got that wheel cranked to the left, but oh my goodness, what a hit.
It almost looked like his arm had an itch there. Just drives it in and locks it straight up.
I see what you did there.
it's Richmond. Things happens here. And yeah, we're going double digit on the yellow flag ticker here, as every single driver, I would imagine, has one more set of virtual Goodyear tires, as race control has moved restarts back to 2 wide for the 11th start of this race. Let's throw the Joker lap in here, boys. We're going to see what this restart looks like.
I don't know if I like that call, just because we saw the single file restarts work out once with the long green flag. I don't know. And now with more on the line, you think about it, Jeremy, less than 50 laps to go. I would assume everybody's going to probably go balls to the wall, if I had to guess, and try to really get every position they could. I mean, we saw it early on in the race, halfway through the race. Now that we're at the more than three-quarter mark of this race, almost, I don't know.
We'll find out. Let's see how spicy we can get here at Richmond on this coming up restart in just a couple laps. But let's just, we're going to wait for everyone to cycle back to the pace car. We'll kind of go over the remaining top 10, and then we'll just watch 50 laps of hopefully great racing to finish this thing off here for the 10th race of the season. So Tay McDonald has somehow found himself in second place half these restarts, Jason. And once again, at least on the board, he's P2. Let's see if he stays out this time. It looks like he's going to have the number 12, Dylan. He's going to drive around the pace car here this lap, presumably. So we'll hold second place there. Austin Wheeler finds himself back to P3. Blake Trawick in 5th place, with Brandon Finley in 4th, right next to each other there. Braxton DeWeese, kind of a up and down night. We've talked about it multiple times. Maybe he can stay clear of the shifter issues the rest of this evening and figure it out before next Thursday. One of the biggest movers inside this top 10, Jason, 2 of them. Christian McCrelly there in 104 from 19th to 8th place. Marcelli, thank you, Dustin, for that. And then the number 5, Bill Hagan. I think I pronounced that one right. From 21st to 10th. So big moves. Up 11 spots goes the car number 5. As we kind of quickly cycle through that top 10 before we go back to green flag here. Restart happening on lap 156.
Yeah, here we go. Green flag's back out. Nick Kaufman, great restart. Now the question's going to be, Jeremy, is everybody going to be able to survive through turns 1 and 2? Brandon Finley slams the door shut on Tay McDonald as they work through 1 and 2. Can everybody get off too well? Because it's been a struggle point for everybody all night long.
With the 99 wicked loose off of turn number 2. Great save from Dylan Ellis. As the race, Blake Trawick gets loose too, chokes up a little bit there, but the 95 great launch holds a 5 car length advantage over Brandon Finley. You see there's the little 2x2 ahead of that 56. We're bouncing the camera around back and forth because as soon as we go to one part of the track, somebody else causes a stir.
Yeah, and Brandon Finley overshoots the corner slightly. Here comes Tay McDonald, going to close up to the rear bumper of him. Oh, big time! Loose goes Finley off 4. And it looks like DeWeese is going to be able to get to the outside of McDonald, who has to check up for him. And DeWeese will wrap around the outside lane. Will make quick work of McDonald, putting him behind him. Now he tries to work on Brandon Finley. But here comes McDonald back to the inside lane. And Nick Kaufman is loving what he's seeing back behind him here with 42 to go.
The 2 wide restart works this time around. As we're coming up to 40 laps to go in 2 laps. Single filed goes the whole field momentarily. As the 8 was looking momentarily there, the 48. Austin Wheeler was trying to look under Tay McDonald. Backs it down there. Al Lyken's going to drive it up wide, gets tight. Has to check up. He's going to lose it. Now here comes Braxton. Does take the look under Brandon Finley. This is for P2 and 3.
I think if Braxton DeWeese wants any type of shot at Nick Kaufman, he's got to get around Brandon Finley within these next 2 laps. Let the tires kind of cycle around, see how the wear affects Kaufman's car, and then try to go run him down. But Finley will not back down from this fight. Him and DeWeese still side by side for second entering 1.
Great battle here for our second and third and final podium positions, as Tay McDonald in 4th just kind of watching to see what kind of contact can be found there. 94 and the 8 graze each other there into turn 3 and 4. Still remain door to door in turn number 1.
Finley finally gives up the position. He'll work back behind the number 8 machine as they work off turn number 2. So Hornets nets back from second on back. Meanwhile, Nick Kaufman, he's pulled out to a 2.25 seconds and more now over the field. 38 laps to go this time. Oh, we got a yellow on the racetrack again for the I don't even know how manyth time. But I think might have been for Nate Lesko, I believe, possibly. Maybe Nate Lesko, Bill Hagan. Maybe even the 18 machine. I'm not too sure, honestly, but we'll find out.
Nate Lesko, 1 lap 162, turn number 3, gets a little loop-de-loo all by his lonesome here. Good save overall, but just he's going to drive deep into the apron. Really just misjudged the corner entry. Car does not like it. And he's going to slide. No spin, but a great slide, and it checks up. And Dylan and Bill both almost collect the 20 in that one.
That's so odd of Nate Lesko to do that. I don't know if maybe he had something happen to his cockpit or what, but you don't see that out of Nate Lesko. It's a guy who rarely makes mistakes. He's only made one here tonight. The second one he's made. That's really odd. It's kind of, you don't really see many guys drive it down on the apron like that unless you're Austin Dillon trying to turn Logano for a win. I don't really know what to make of that. And the thing is, though, for Lesko, I mean, he's got to be a little bit frustrated. You know, he took himself out of contention early on. He's made his way up into the top 10 a couple times, but he still has that damage. It's going to affect his race car. I would say him and probably Austin Wheeler and DeWeese are probably the only 3 drivers who had a shot. But I would say Nate Lesko probably had the best shot tonight prior to his spin more than halfway through the race, or rather before halfway through the race. I would say that Lesko probably had the only shot to really catch Nick Kaufman because, man, dude, this guy has been lights out on the restarts. Nobody's been able to stay with him. It's going to be really tough. I think DeWeese has an opportunity to do so, but everybody's obviously out of tires, I think. So nobody's going to elect to pit. You got what you got now, except if you're Bill Hagan. Maybe Bill Hagan took 4 tires on the stop. I don't think he did. But if he did, man, that's going to be a big thing. Same for Nate Lesko, who did take 4 tires as well.
Yep, we'll see here. And if you're Nick Kaufman, you're asking Nate what happened there, because that erased that huge lead that he had earned over the 8 and the 94, duking it out side by side, multiple laps. That got erased, and so now Nick's gonna have to earn that once more. He's got the car to do it, but can Braxton or Brandon Finley get a better launch and maybe contend short bit with the 95? We're going back 2 wide here. Restart on lap 167. Your top 5 is Nick Kaufman, Braxton DeWeese, Brandon Finley, Tay McDonald, and Austin Wheeler. These guys have been up front for the most part of the night. Scrubbing off the rubber of these tires, potentially for the last time here. All right, let's keep it clean. Let's keep it green. Going up to the top, even though we're 2 wide, we're going to consume the outside part of the track on the restart. No outside passing going to be found here. Into the restart zone, and for the 12th time, we are green flag racing.
And Braxton DeWeese, for the time being, looks like he did not miss a shift, so that's a good start for him if you're the driver, the number 8, or a fan. But he's going to be side by side again with Brandon Finley, who he's had trouble with passing these last handful of laps. Oh, and into the wall goes one driver. I want to say that was Christian Marcelli, who got up into the wall. No caution. He got right hooked into it, but he'll keep it clean and green. Meanwhile, Kaufman continuing to pull away by more than half a second, while Finley and Deweese still battling, while Wheeler waits in the wings for his moment to try to shine and pass them.
Marcelli outside wall, turn 2, dead near stops. Up on the outside part of the track, we stay green flag momentarily. He gets rolling here. That car was virtually almost at a stop there as he slams the outside wall in turn 2. And yeah, we're just going to stay green. So here we go. We're going to be twistedspeedsetups.com. Telemetry from the driver, the number 48, currently holds 4th place. Looking to maybe sneak under the 94. Brandon does not have the turn to do such. He's going to try it down the front straightaway. 94 blocks contact. Close call there.
Yeah, it was a close call, and heads up driving by Austin Wheeler. He could have easily booted the 94 up out of the way, but you can only imagine with a guy like him, both of them, in fact, contending for this championship. They are both seated very solidly in the points, or at least for Wheeler. He doesn't want to kind of get a points penalty or anything like that out of tonight. Heads up driving by the driver, the 48.
Yeah, that could have been a big crash there up at the front half of the field, but it's going to allow Braxton to kind of pull away a little bit here. 5-car length separates himself from the 95, your current race leader. We have 29 laps to go side by side. Tay McDonald and Al Likens.
As they work side by side into the corner, the 6 jumps way up the racetrack, nearly opened up the door for Treywick off turn number 2. And here comes Wheeler up in front of them, again, trying to throw everything but the kitchen sink at Finley, but cannot do it. This is a great battle behind these guys here. Obviously, Jeremy, you mentioned the 692 and 56, all having a great job. And oh, the 48 that time into 1, gave him a little bit of a shot. He did not, and he got him sideways. They brushed into the wall. Great battle between these two, but you can only imagine Austin Wheeler, he can get blocked once, that's okay, but you do it twice, you can only imagine he's going to give him the bumper, and he gets a little loose off for it. Great battle between these two.
Right behind him, Al Likens runs all the way up to the outside wall to get his launch. As we're watching the 48, Austin Wheeler try to make the pass, gets a little tight off corner exit, remains door to door into turn number 3. 94 Brandon washes up just a touch, able to dime in the corner, side by side still, as we have 26 to go.
48 of Wheeler should be able to get him here as they come off turn number 2. If he could just roll the corner and does, so he'll clear the 90. Oh, they made contact! I say it, and then all of a sudden there's contact, and the 94 overshoots the corner and heads up driving by Al Likens to be able to back it down just enough to not be involved in that little mess. But Austin Wheeler, man, oh man, did he fight hard for that 3rd spot, and heads up driving by Brandon Finley and Al Likens.
Yeah, fantastic battle. The 94 gets tight. Brandon now going to have to fight off Al Likens as Al goes to the bottom for the first time in probably 15-plus laps. He's going to have to try to figure it out on the inside lane as the 94 Finley gets a great launch off of turn 4, able to clear the 6. 6 goes out to the outside where he feels the most comfortable and has been there all night long, except for now. He's going to slam the wall.
I was about to say, man, this guy is running the Bristol line. I'm so surprised by that. You never see anybody up there unless if it's with the wet weather tires that we saw here a couple years ago when they did run the wet weather race, when you saw everybody running every line on the racetrack at the beginning of the race. But not really working out for the 6 for the time being. But up at the front of this field, Jeremy, keep an eye out. Nick Kaufman, Braxton DeWeese. The gap is now 0.7 of a second. It was 0.5, but Kaufman has kind of seemed to save his tires a little bit, turn on the jets slightly to maintain that gap from between him and DeWeese. But even though there's 22 laps to go, I would not say that this is Kaufman's race just yet. Yes, he may be the most dominant car of the evening. Braxton DeWeese is right there.
Yeah, this race is definitely not done. As we got the laps to continue to close down. Oh, we got one slow. The 18, Bryce Hedgecock, some wheel damage. That right front is turned and turned heavy. As we're going to go back to Nerd TV, rewind, replay, and see what happens here. Or was that? Here we go. Let's take a look at the 18. Conversation happening with the 99 and the 18. And this is why. Turn 2, exit clean, except for the 99 gets loose. Overcorrects, finds the 18.
Yeah, not really anybody's fault besides the 99 there. It's getting really loose. It's getting to that point in the race. Tires are starting to wear out now. They've had a little bit of a green flag run since, and yeah, those tires are going to wear out, and you're going to start to see that happen a little bit more. I would not be surprised if we do have a late race yellow, because it seems like tonight's been all talk of tires and cautions breeding cautions.
Top 3 really spaced out. Right now they are just locked into their positions unless something happens in this race or the tires just extremely fall off between the 95, the 8, the 48, or maybe even the 94, who's the 4th one in line. As we go to the back straightaway here, under 20 laps remaining. IWP just trying to extend their 103-point advantage over the rest of the teams here.
Yeah, you see right there. They're just doing such a great job here tonight. Obviously, besides Bryce Hedgecock, I mean, Kaufman has dominated the race. Brandon Finley's been right there. Nate Lesko, probably the only one who could have battled his teammate. You know, it's just a shame though that it's not going to end up that way. But overall, though, for Nate Lesko, despite being involved in 2 incidents tonight, finding himself inside the top 10, so he's going to be able to salvage some points out of it for sure, no doubt about it. But for Austin Wheeler, he might be able to close up that gap just a slight little bit here. But now with 16 laps to go, Wheeler has almost run down Deweese, but Deweese is now back by a second. 15 now this time at the line. Jeremy, want to get your opinion, man? What do you think? You think we're going to get a late race yellow?
I think they're really spaced out, and I think we're going to go green the rest of the way. Well, I say that in a 2x2 back there for about 6th or 7th place here. Little 4-car cluster. Al continued to run the outside line. The only car able to do that. That reminds me of the, what was it, Gen 5 with the spoilers, able to run up there in Richmond during the day race.
Oh, yeah.
Just run that outside wall. That was about the only time that blew my mind. The rest of the time it's been infield, unless you said the wet tires get put on these cars. Oh, here we go.
Oh!
104. Marcelli, Al Likens, they meet up in the center of 3 and 4, up on the outside wall.
What happened?
And this is just a miscue of judgment of speed, I guess, between the 6 and the 104. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the 104 just braked.
Actually, I don't know. Does Al Likens not? Al just drove it in there. I don't know. Maybe we can get it on board. That was kind of interesting. The 6 carried so much speed in that corner. He rebounced off the outside wall. No, it's just an approach. Okay. Yeah, the 104 just really slowed down in turn 3 there.
Yeah, I think that Marcelli definitely might get a little bit of a probation or a penalty of some sorts after tonight's race for that one, because that was definitely avoidable. I don't know what that was about. That was just a heavy break from him into the corner. I don't know why that happened, but Jeremy, 11 laps to go. I don't know, man. We almost had a wreck right there. I think you might be a jinxer if I had to say one myself, because even though this is a little bit spaced out, somehow, some way, these guys have been able to manage and find ways to wreck themselves here tonight. I would not say that a late race yellow is out of the possibilities.
2nd, 3rd, and 4th, all up for grabs. That massive gap that they had have closed up as Braxton Deweese's times are falling off drastically here after making a hard charge to try to keep up with Nick Kaufman. Now Austin Wheeler is just 3 car lengths away from the 8, and then Brandon Finley has reeled himself into 2 car lengths off the back of the 48 as they continue to close in here. 9 laps remaining in the Jonathan Carter Memorial 200. This is going to get good here.
Yeah, this very well could get good for the 2nd place if we don't have a late race yellow. Deweese has really fallen off the pace here compared to Nick Kaufman, who is still running 22.2s. Braxton Deweese running 22.4s, and everybody else behind him running the exact same pace, man. Nick Kaufman has just been on rails tonight ever since he got out front. Been really, really strong. And obviously for Austin Wheeler, we talked about his story tonight. This would be a feel-good moment, even though he might not get the win. But a 3rd place would be great for the driver of the 48 machine as well.
Brandon Finley looking to get a little closer, drives it deep into turn number 1 and tries to make it stick. It kind of works. He falls off a car length there, drives into turn 3. Brandon's got better entry. Austin kind of sort of has a better exit. That time he really does over the 94. But he's inching closer. 2 car lengths now. Not even 2 car lengths separates car number 8 and 48 here as we got 6 laps to go.
Yeah, and Braxton is now 2 3/4 of a second back from Kaufman, who's just been so strong. But don't count out Brandon Finley right here, man. He might be 4th. I think he very well could get 3rd place. Heck, I think Braxton Deweese very well could lose these 2 spots in the next 5 laps. Austin Wheeler is right there on the bumper, but Brandon Finley is right there to attack if need be when these 2 get side by side.
Braxton feeling the pressure there. Slight tap to the outside wall. Turn number 3. 3 cars nose to tail here. 4 laps remaining. I think Austin's got a decent shot here, but it's so hard to make a pass. He's going to go up and try to dime. Oh, no!
Oh!
Does not save it. We're going to have a caution here. And this was just a miscue on Austin Wheeler's part. Drives it up the track. He opens the door a lot for the 94, so Brandon takes that spot. Austin thinks maybe he can slice it back to the bottom in time, does not have that moment. And it's going to set off the 12th caution.
I think he was so focused on trying to roll from middle to bottom and try to cross over that he just never saw the 94 going down there. That's just lack of awareness on Austin Wheeler's part right there. Heads up driving, by the way, to everybody on back, especially Nate Lesko right here. Sees the 48 coming down the track. Does a great job at moving down. And now, Jeremy, the question's going to be is how will this restart play out? We already know what Nick Kaufman's going to do, and here we go. And Tay McDonald's going to stay out in the number 92 machine. Austin Wheeler stays out as well. Same with Bill Hagan. Oh, boy. Things have gotten interesting.
Overtime start, 1 of 3. Here we go, and a couple cars stay out. But we saw how good Austin Wheeler was on that short run to close out stage number 1. It plays. And Austin, though, he said, or no, that was Kaufman. Kaufman said within 4 to go, he's coming down pit road. He stayed true to his word. He came down pit road. Now it's going to be a reverse of the story between stage 1 and stage 2. Kaufman now on the freshies. Austin, obviously, from that spin out on the olds. And, this is going to get pretty good. Can Tay McDonald, who has been starting second place so often this race, can he hang on to it for 2 laps?
Jeremy, I'm not going to lie, man. I think Nick Kaufman's going to have it made right here. He's going to get really aggressive. But this is the thing, though, about Nick Kaufman. I will say, everybody in this series, and even us up here in the booth, know he is a very sometimes overly aggressive driver. And people, even some of the guys even in the league, they said he is the Kyle Larson of iRacing in this league. If he's not winning, he's wrecking. We've seen it time and time again. Nick Kaufman knows he has the better car. He has the fresher tires. Granted, he's going to have 2 laps to do it. But with what we saw Austin Wheeler do with newer tires that had about the same amount of laps between them like Kaufman's going to have to the 4 guys in front of him, or rather 3 guys, I think Kaufman can do it. I think if Kaufman could get right to the outside entering turn number 1, I think Kaufman's got it made. Maybe not off 2, but at least into 3 and off 4 to the white flag. I think that he could have it. The question's going to be, though, how is Braxton DeWeese going to maintain himself on the bottom? Is he going to try to make it 3 wide? Is he going to settle to stay behind the 5? Because if I'm him, I'm surely not. You might have to go middle. You might have to go bottom. Jeremy, this is going to be one hell of a finish here, possibly.
Yeah, the story might be using the number 6, Al Likens' race line, which has been right up to the outside wall. He's cleared off that rubber a little bit, so Nick Kaufman on the fresh tires, maybe he just drives up to the 6th lane and chips it on the outside. Restart, tire spin a little bit. Tay McDonald, great launch, though. Exactly what he needed. Kaufman already into 2nd place, just like that. 3 wide, big wreck.
Oh, no!
Every single body wrecking. Still wrecking. 104 just gets involved. We're going to have to backtrack and watch a bunch of this, Jason, because just the whole field has become scrambled eggs. And to turn 1, it almost looked like just ice was laid out on the track. Every single car, 3 wide, 4 wide, goes Brandon Finley. And I think it all started with Braxton DeWeese driving down the track.
Oh, man. And you got to feel bad for the 48 of Austin Wheeler there. He could have easily made it through and been in a great spot. Jeremy, I don't want to be that guy, but what was I just talking about with the 95? I don't understand. I mean, he knew he had the better tires. I don't think he needed to ship it down that deep. And granted, I know he had to gut down to the bottom to pass Wheeler, but he just shipped it down in there so hard. The cold tires had no grip. And he just flat out lost it. And what could have been probably his best race of the night is now going to be what could be his worst moment of the season. And look at Tay McDonald. Tay McDonald's looking like a genius compared to everybody else here. Stayed out on old tires, and he's got the heat in him. So he shoots out to a commanding lead, gets right past all this, and now he's going to have to deal with Al Likens and Braxton DeWeese behind him.
Yeah, it all starts right here. The 5 and the 8, they're 4 wide, but the issue I think is either Hagen goes wide or Ada DeWeese goes. He just cuts in. Yeah, Braxton DeWeese. I don't think he realized that Brandon Finley went 3 wide, 4 wide on the bottom. He turned sharp into the 5. And that's what's going to set off the initial chaos, bringing in the Mustang. And then as they wash down the track, they're going to collect Nate and all of them. And so initially it was just the 4 wide, lack of awareness because they're all trying to drive into turn number 1. Everybody's got fresh tires for the most part. They're not curious of the late drive in from the 94. And then that's going to cause it. So, no, it's a racing deal, it looks like, from race control. It's under review, of course. And so they got a lot to figure out here. But this is going to set off our second of 3 green-white checkered attempts. And yeah, I agree with you, Jason. The 92 Tay McDonald looking like a genius right now. And all of a sudden now Likens has put himself P2. And look who's third place. Wouldn't you believe it? The 56, Blake Traywick.
I called it. What did I tell you? That Blake Traywick was going to find his way some way, somehow, up inside the top 4. Not to mention, look who is running P5. In the 104, Christian Marcelli has found his way up into the top 5. This has been a crazy race. Jeremy, I want to say the 92 is a sitting duck, but honestly, after that restart, I don't know.
Yep, we're going to find out. Lap 207 underway here. 3, 2, 1, green flag. Green flag in the air. 92 with a decent start this time. Al on the inside. Blake's going to drive it in. Here comes Braxton DeWeese. Throws it right to the yellow line. We're 3 wide. I think I heard more wall contact.
Oh no.
The 99
sideways
gets
to keep it
loose.
green.
Al
Oh, my
Likens using that outside momentum. He goes to the inside. 1 to go.
Here he comes. And here comes Likens to the inside. White flag is out. 1 lap to go. Braxton DeWeese right behind the 6 machine. The 92 washes up. Jeremy, it's going to be a battle between Likens and DeWeese coming into 3.
Oh, here comes Braxton's drive in. Al's going to go to this line. He's been trusting
Oh, he washes
all
up.
race long. Can't do it. Braxton DeWeese.
Wow, what a job.
Weezer 8 cheering on the YouTube side as his driver wins the race. As
Holy cow.
Braxton underselling himself, saying, I don't deserve this win just because of that last caution and him being the initiating contact. But he's going to have to burn it down anyways on the front straightaway to celebrate his win. And for the 4th consecutive week, we're talking to Blake Traywick in the post-race.
Told you. He may have been my pick to win, but guess what? He's going to continue on with that march forward, and that's going to help him up in the points even more. Man, what a job by those guys to put on a clean finish, because Braxton DeWeese, he threw everything but the kitchen sink at Al Likens there going into turn 3. I think I want to see if we can get a replay of the final lap there, because that 8 machine, I believe, hit the apron and he hit that chip and he slid up the racetrack. But what really set him up to be able to have that momentum going into turn 3 was that the 6 drove it in so deep, thinking that the 8 was going to get into him, I think. And the 6 has been running up top all night long. He overshot it and let the 8 just kind of roll bottom right there. So here it is, down the back straightaway. The 8's got a great surge of momentum. He dives low. This is the race-winning move for sure, and he does. He gets right up on that apron. 6 slides way up. Can't recover in time, and Braxton DeWeese just right at the line, nearly clears himself. Practically a photo finish at the line. Hell of a job by these guys. Great, great driving for that finish.
Yeah, Likens has been he's been running the very top of the track, right? And so I think he wanted the bottom, but he saw the run from Braxton, then had to move himself up the track at corner entry, and it didn't have the line that he preferred to hold off. The really hard charging number 8 there to close this thing out. Here is your unofficial results for the 21 entries of race number 10 for the Jonathan Carter Memorial 200. Braxton DeWeese P1, Al Likens second place, and Blake Traywick in your top 3 podium. Brandon Finley and Tay McDonald round out the top 5. 6 through 10, Jeremiah Nelson in 6th, Nick Kaufman 7th, Austin Wheeler 8th, Dylan Ellis P9, and Nate Let's Go finds himself P10.
Rest of the 21 car field, you'll find Christian Marcelli there in P11. You have Bill Hagan 12th, Steve Harden in 13th, Dylan Picklesheimer, 14th. 15th is Bryce Hedgecock, and then rest of your field, Robert Hottenbach, Chris Cash, Mitch Diamond, Eddie Baker, Jamel Love, and Kevin Bullock in the number 01 machine rounds out your 21 car field.
There we go. We got Blake and Braxton ready. Let's see if Al Likens is ready. He's not in Discord. Maybe he will be soon. So with that being said, Victory Fuel, drinkvictory.com, post-race show is live and well here as we're going to bring in the Mustang. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. Why not 4 times in a row? Does this man, this time with the ultimate steal, the whole field separated, and it gave you the path of P3, man.
Yeah, that tonight's race was complete luck. There was no skill involved to survive to at least get third. I don't know. I was at lunch all night. I don't know if my wheel was uncalibrated or something, but we were killing the right front by probably about 20% more than usual. So I was just trying to hold on what I could and try to get a top 10. So to be back here once again, I'll take that.
Yeah, you didn't have too much spring rubber in the right front. You had too much pails of milk in the right front there, just wearing out the tire. But that long run was terrible. But the short runs, you seem to be pretty okay.
Yeah, 30-lap sprints I was okay in. It seemed like after 30 laps, it was a huge cliff the right front fell off on. I have no idea if it was my driving or something wrong with my wheel tonight. Probably a little bit of both. So,
and Blake, man, you did such a great job, obviously surviving the carnage. I know you talk about, all luck, but man, 4th podium finish in a row. You were my pick to win tonight. I said no matter what, you were going to find yourself up inside the top 3, despite whatever happened. Man, you found yourself up inside the podium finish again, man. What does this do for you guys? You guys are only going to have, I think, like 7 races left here for the remainder of the year. And this is a long season points format, man. How do you feel about your chances going for that championship with all these consecutive top 3 finishes in a row?
I'm feeling a little confident with it. Like, we're starting to get up, and even when, like, tonight, I didn't feel like we had pace, we still managed to steal a podium. So if we can just keep, you don't got to win every race. Just finish podium, just get good finishes in, and it pays off in points. So I'm not going to hold my breath on it, but I feel pretty good going forward from here. Tonight was kind of a good boost on that one, just to survive.
That's the man who's found 4 straight podiums. So he's feeling pretty good about it there, Jason. Blake, thank anyone you got to thank before we let you go.
All right, every week, you guys up here in the booth making this happen. Everybody at this league putting on a good show for the most part. So Splash and Go Graphics.
I appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you next week.
Hopefully.
Yes, sir. That was Blake Treywick. And Al Likens did make Discord, so we are going to talk to our second place runner-up here this evening. The man who found all the grip on the outside portion of the track that nobody else could. Al Likens, second place. Congrats on overall a great run.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man. How did you make this outside work? It's very hard to do such, and you weren't like top 3 material for the most part of the race, but you kind of had to avoid the wrecks, and that lane was just working for you.
Yeah, I figured I'd try to go where nobody was. I know it's worked in the past, but it wasn't near as fast as I thought it was going to be. But sometimes you got to run where they're not.
Yeah, and Al, obviously, great job, man, finishing P2. I know you wanted one spot better. Talk about that turn 3 move right there. We saw Braxton really send it in. I said in the post race that you might have went a little bit higher, probably thinking he was going to send it in, and he did. But man, what differently could you have done there going into 3 on that last lap?
I have 2. I was trying to get around Tay, and it hurt my momentum a little bit. So I knew the 8 car was going to have a run. I was like. And looking back, I should have held a tighter line, and if he drove it in, wrecked both of us, or one of us, we'd have been banging door to door. So that's what I would have done different. But no, I'm happy with second.
Yeah, my assumption is you wanted the bottom on that final corner, but the way the 8 had the momentum driving down to the bottom, that you just kind of had to shift your lane at the last moment. Is that about correct?
Yeah, that's what I seen. Once the Tay, held me up just a little bit, then I was like, man, it ain't worth getting wrecked. I'd rather come out here second. So I'd win a lane a little bit too high, but going back over, I definitely would have stayed more to the middle not so high, but it just rookie mistake.
I mean, well, congrats on a solid finish here tonight. Thank anyone you have to thank or any shout outs or anything like that before we get you out of here.
To thank the league and the job you all do, and obviously my teammates at Slightly Dangerous Race. Thank y'all.
Yes, sir. Congrats, and we'll see you next week. That was Al Likens, driver the number 6, finishing second place this evening. And then we're going to talk now to Mr. Braxton DeWeese for this first checkered flag of the year, race number 10. Braxton, congratulations on a great run.
Appreciate it. We definitely looked into that one, but put ourselves in a spot to where if anything happens, we try to get something to work at. So we'll take it.
You had to work from lap 0. You got to the throttle, and then the shifter problems just kind of beating you up all night. How'd you overcome that?
I was just hoping that the it wouldn't keep messing up. I was just trying to do the best I can to clear it out with any compressed air. Just trying to get in there as much as I could, and just trying to make sure I was practicing on the backstretch, going from gear to gear to make sure it was working. Trying to do the best I could, but all in all, I'm very happy that I was able to get out of the way for the other fellas to not be able to get into me there. That was one of my main worries, but luckily, we didn't really cause any problems. But it always sucks to be up front and have problems like that. But glad that we were able to at least get it figured out somewhat.
And Braxton, congratulations, man. Finally getting the monkey off your back with your first win of the year. Points look like they've updated. Now, this is pending post-race penalties, but you only earned a few points here tonight, obviously getting the win. You've now jumped only 2 points behind Austin Wheeler. You're back by 88 to Nate Lesko. 7 races remaining here after tonight, man. What do you feel like your chances are for this championship? Because between you and Nate, you guys are the only ones who have more than 8 top 10s here so far this year. So it feels like a battle between you, Lesko, and Wheeler for this championship.
Yeah, well, I believe this was third to last race until the regular season was over. So definitely needed a win, at least gain some points. We gained about 20 some, so that's definitely good. But if we want to challenge for the regular season title, we definitely have to make sure we're in a spot to be able to win the next 2, and have to try to take advantage of any misfortune that he might, which if we want to have a shot, he have some more. But all in all, we just have to make sure we're in a good spot where we run up front. Obviously getting as many points as possible is definitely the goal, especially going into the chase here at the end. So we'll try to prepare ourselves to do that in case when it matters the most.
Yes, sir, man. Good luck the rest of the way. Congratulations on the win. Awesome job. And any shout-outs before we let you go?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a big shout out to 3 Dips Ice Cream Shop, as well as Interstate Ford, Stake Time, DeWeese Renovations, Superior Sim Racing. You can use the code BDR5 for 5% off over there in the checkout. Also, thanks to Elevated TV, Ghost Train, Wooden Nickel Band, Evan Pineda Designs, Our Pete's House in Winchester, Indiana, for serving pizza at Winchester Speedway, as well as Beaver Contracting for sponsoring the Roadsters and Legends at Anderson Speedway in Indiana. And I appreciate everybody who tunes into the broadcast. For you guys for doing what you do. Looking forward to going back and seeing that crazy ending. But just all in all, I'm happy to where we ended up with a little bit of luck there and was able to come home with the first win. Not how I wanted the first win to happen, but we're able to get one nonetheless. So that's pretty good. Just try to see if we can do it next week.
And in the words of your cheerleader on YouTube, Weezer8, simple word of wow to end the finishing portion of this broadcast, man. Congratulations. We'll see you next week.
I appreciate it. Y'all take care.
You too. All right, there we go. That is our top 3 for the Victory Fuel post-race show. Jason, man, oh man. What a race.
Yeah, hey, I haven't been here in so long on Thursday, and I completely forgot we had a chase format, so that's completely on me. But this just makes it a little bit more exciting now, and Nate wants this regular season championship. I know he's probably going to end up getting it. But despite that, we're not a postseason yet. I'm not going to talk about that. Talk about this race here tonight, man. Despite all the cautions, great racing. like throughout everywhere. And I know this Gen 7 car usually has a lot of trouble with grip passing on these short tracks. But tonight we had that. Even when we did have those green flag runs, there were battles throughout the field. Sure, Nick Kaufman stunk up the show by, you know, dominating the race. And this was definitely his race to win. But I'm going to say it again. He is, like they say, the Kyle Larson of this league. If he's not winning, he's wrecking. He has no wins this year. I think into turn one, he's going to think about it a little bit heavily now for the next, you know, however long he needs. What differently he could have done wrong. We saw all night long how cold tires plague these drivers and how the worn tires paid off on restarts. And it's funny because you wouldn't think that because, though, this track, with how abrasive the surface is for being a short track, and the kind of style this car is with that wider tire base, it's the tires have so much grip that when they're cold, they have literally no grip. So, and it wasn't just him. It was a lot of drivers tonight making those mistakes. But besides that, overall, I think he's going to go back and look at this race and think to himself, what do I got to do differently? I think he could have been a little bit more patient there going through 1 and 2, and maybe even coming up to the last lap in general. I think he would have done a lot differently. I think this was definitely his race to win, but he was his own worst enemy at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100% there. Crazy finish for a pretty crazy race overall. And thank you guys for pumping up the Twitch numbers here. We got about 5 or 6 at most at one time. So that's really going to help us out through the month of April. And speaking of April, that is next week is your final regular season race. And then April 30th kicks off race number 12, which is race number 1 of the chase. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. We'll do it again next week. Until then, stay safe. Get your nerd on. We'll go live this Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. We'll see you Tuesday for 2 weeks or 2 days a week again. Have a good night.
Touchscreen and louder to the range. Fuel burns and the glow of the pixel blaze. The rubber moves roll with a fist clenched tight. Your TV lights up the endless night. Fight to fight, we live the speed. No TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats round and engines climb. Best broadcast under the virtual sky. Turn the wheel, feel the breakneck roll. Sim racers tearing through the thunder soul. Gear shifts crack like a lightning storm. Digital warriors breaking the norm. Turn the wheel, feel the breakneck roll. Sim racers tearing through the thunder soul. Gear shifts crack like a lightning storm. Digital warriors breaking the norm. Fight to fight, we live the speed. The TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats pounding, engines cry. Best broadcast under the virtual sky. Through each hairpin, a battle unfolds. Victory forged in the fire of the bold. Neon dreams fuel the tracks we tear. Nerd TV shows us who dares to care. Fight to fight, we live the speed. Nerd TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats pounding, engines cry. Best broadcast under the virtual sky. Touchscreen, you're louder, you the range. Fuel burns in the glow of the pixel plane.